Hello, truth seekers. Welcome to Forgotten Echoes. My name is Muammar Mohammed Abu Minyar al-Gaddafi, an ally and former resident of the Milky Way galaxy. And thanks for seeing my previous video, Lost Ancient Civilization, the Unfiltered documentary. You guys are valid. World War II wasn't just a war, it was a global inferno that consumed 85 million lives and reshaped history. But what really caused it? Forget the textbook fluff. In this video, we rip away the veil to expose the raw, unfiltered truth. Broken treaties, ruthless tyrants, shattered economies, and ideologies that turned nations into powder kegs. You're about to uncover the forces that ignited the deadliest conflict ever, with details most history channels won't touch. If you're ready for the real story, hit that like button to show your support, share this with anyone who needs to know, and drop a comment. What do you think sparked the war? Don't miss a single truth. Subscribe and ring the bell for more hard-hitting history. Let's dive in.
World War II wasn't just a war. It was a global catastrophe that killed 70 to 85 million people, more than half civilians. From 1939 to 1945, it tore the world apart. But why did it happen? This isn't a tidy story of good versus evil. It's a raw, messy tale of broken treaties, desperate economies, hateful ideologies, and ruthless power grabs. Buckle up. We're diving into the unfiltered truth behind the causes of World War II. Let's start in 1919 with the Treaty of Versailles. World War I was over, and the Allies wanted Germany to pay, literally and figuratively. They forced Germany to accept full blame, cough up 132 billion gold marks in reparations, surrender 65,000 square kilometers of land, and shrink its army to a measly 100,000 troops. No air force, no real navy. Germans called it a diktat, a dictated peace. It was a humiliation that seared into the national psyche. By 1923, hyperinflation hit, and a loaf of bread cost billions. This resentment was a ticking time bomb, and Adolf Hitler knew exactly how to light the fuse. Fast forward to the 1920s and 30s. The world was fracturing and strongmen stepped into the chaos. In Germany, Adolf Hitler, a failed artist turned war veteran, joined the Nazi Party in 1919. By 1933, he was chancellor, promising to restore Germany's glory. He crushed democracy, silenced dissent with his SS goons, and started rearming, spitting in the face of Versailles. In Italy, Benito Mussolini's fascists took power in 1922, dreaming of a new Roman Empire. He invaded Ethiopia in 1935, gassing villages to prove Italy's might. In Japan, militarists took over. They stormed Manchuria in 1931 and launched a brutal war on China in 1937. These weren't just leaders. They were warlords, hungry for land and power. Then came the Great Depression, a global gut punch starting in 1929. By 1932, 30% of Germans were jobless. Families starved while politicians dithered. Hitler's answer? Rearmament. Factories roared back to life, building tanks and planes, giving jobs but also weapons. It was a deal with the devil. Japan, strapped for oil and rubber, faced trade walls and a collapsing economy. Their solution? Take what they needed: Manchuria, China, and soon Southeast Asia. Italy, too, chased colonies to prop up its failing economy. Money wasn't just tight. It was a spark for war. Underneath it all were ideas, twisted, dangerous ones. Nazi Germany preached Aryan supremacy, blaming Jews for every problem. This wasn't just rhetoric. It led to the Holocaust, where 6 million Jews were murdered in cold blood. Japan saw itself as Asia's divine ruler, destined to free it from Westerners by force. Italy's fascism glorified Mussolini as a modern Caesar, feeding dreams of empire. Now, the power grabs. Hitler wanted Lebensraum, living space, for Germans, eyeing Eastern Europe's fields and resources. He remilitarized the Rhineland, annexed Austria, and took Czechoslovakia, all while Britain and France tried appeasement. Japan wanted Asia's riches, invading China and eyeing oil-rich Southeast Asia. Italy, desperate to be a great power, grabbed Ethiopia and Albania. These weren't isolated moves. They were a global chess game, and the board was running out of squares. The final straw came in August 1939. Germany and the Soviet Union, sworn enemies, signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, a secret deal to carve up Eastern Europe. On September 1st, 1939, Hitler unleashed blitzkrieg on Poland, crushing it with tanks and dive bombers. 2 days later, Britain and France declared war. The fuse was lit, and the world exploded into conflict. What happens when we ignore resentment, appease aggressors, or let hate fester? Can we stop the next war before it starts? Share your thoughts below, because the past isn't dead. It's screaming for us to listen. Subscribe for more raw history. Like and comment. What's the biggest lesson from World War II?
Forgotten Echoes brought to you by Lion Republic TV. Stay jiggy, Wati Mugbor.